Hello, this is the Idaho Renaissance Fair Inc., and we have with us our very special guest, Denice. She is, again, if you watched our video on accessories, she is one of our core members who has made the Idaho Renaissance Fair Inc. what it is. Without her, we would not be where we are. And one of the things that makes our Renaissance Fair so nice is the smattering of accents that we do. So this video is Denice and how she perfected her French accent. Now keep in mind, this is a project of love. Denice is not paid to do French accents. Do you have a French background?
Actually, no. The reason why I learned to do the French accent was a former Renaissance Fair, the Treasure Valley Renaissance Fair. I was given the wonderful gift of being the queen. And I didn't want to be Elizabeth. Everybody's Elizabeth. I wanted to be somebody different, so I found Marguerite de Valois. She is a French queen of the time, and I decided I'm going to be French. Since then, I have become a bit of a Francophile. I love the French people. I love their entertainment, and their language and their accents for sure.
Well, there's certainly a lot of history. Like, I don't even know the queen you're talking about. She's not, Elizabeth. So.
No, but she was a contemporary of Elizabeth, and her husband, good King Henry IV, actually had quite a relationship with Queen Elizabeth. Her brother Anjou was one of Queen Elizabeth's suitors that she kind of went, no. Anjou was a bit of a boy, I could say.
See, there you go. So look her up because this is a historically important figure. Like, it just is, and it's a real person who actually had experiences that helped shape everything that we know and love, especially for the Renaissance and for, what was the age after the Renaissance?
The Reformation.
The Reformation. So when you approach a French accent, what are you doing to put yourself in that mindset?
So I learned most of my accents phonetically, which is basically where you put your voice. French accent is more in the back of the throat. It is where they use it. It's on the back of the tongue. American tends to be in the middle on the tongue. British tends to be out here. French and some more guttural languages tend to be in the back of the throat. Then it is more like adding some certain types of emphasis on certain words, like this, zit, zat, zut. I always tell people when they want to start, it's just like start with it in the back of the throat, and then you say zit, zat, zut. It's like, because a lot of words become Z words, like a boisy. I know like people don't like a boisy, but that's closer to French.
Well, originally it was la bois.
La bois,
which
is the trees in France, in France. So, and we have a lot of people in Canada that Quebecois who still speak French. They're and even the I want to say Prime Minister, Prime Minister of Canada speaks both English and French.
When you're doing when you're emphasizing, because you said you emphasize.
You emphasize.
Is that because of French? Is that because
of
they?
French. Number one is easier way to do it is when you start putting your voice back there, you can't help but talk like that because your mouth is formed to where these words only come out sounding like that. That's why learning accents phonetically is easier to master than to just follow somebody that you see. So other French actors or people like that. And French is a Romance language, much like Italian and Spanish. So they have different rules in the way they speak, but it's close. Like if you want to go in Spanish, it's just to put it through your teeth. And Italian is a little bit more sing-song, but it's more at the top of your mouth. And there are more capable Italian accents than I do, because I have really mastered the French accent to the point where some people have asked me, "Do you speak French?" I said, "No, I speak French accent."
Which is kind of where you want to be. Like,
Yes.
if you don't speak French, you might as well be able to do a good French accent.
Exactly.
So when you were starting, you said you practiced zit, zat,
Zit,
zut.
zat, zut. Because a lot of the words end up with a Z. And so zit, zat, zut gets you into the mind frame of where the accent is going to stand. And it always stands in the back of the throat. And now I pick it up. We find it hilarious that the last year that we did Treasure Valley Renaissance Festival, a lot of people joined me in the French accent. And at the end of the fair, they couldn't drop it. We spoke French for probably another 2 days. Because the accent, once it's in there, once you are able to do it, it stays there.
So are there French phrases that you practice to help keep yourself authentic?
Yes, mon Dieu is my God. Arrête, that means stop. I learned that, I discovered in my culture class in college that when we panic in our own language. So we had a moment when our king was going to be attacked. No, not the king, the Pope was going to be attacked, and I wanted to say, stop, he is the man of God. So instead of saying, stop, he is a man of God, I said, Arrête, l'homme de la Dieu. Stop, he is a man of God. So you find certain words, and they also help lend credence to the accent if you start saying these different words. But the fun thing about English is that language is a borrower language. So you'll say words that you think are English, but they're actually French. Like bijou, and
It's true though, because I was actually learning Swedish, and there are words that the Swedes use that is Swedish, but they're American and English words.
Yes, English. That's why English is a hard language to learn for most people, is because it borrowed from so many different languages.
So what are some French words that are English recognized?
Let's see, baguette, chapeau, chauffeur, champagne.
Oh, champagne, absolutely.
Champagne, cognac.
Yeah.
Yes, brandy. A lot of words that are French is like linked with spirits,
Well, they were kind of known for it.
Yeah, because like the rule is that only champagne is only from Champagne, France. That everything else is sparkling wine. It's the same thing with cognac. Cognac is brandy, but it's from cognac.
Huh.
So.
Well, there's some of your geographical.
Yes, French, and a lot of wines like Shiraz and all these different things, these different words.
Now, do you know if, like England, French have different area accents? Like in England, you have Scotland and Scottish, or Ireland is Irish, English.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own. Does French have the same?
I would think that it's probably to a non-French speaker or non-French accent person that there are differences, as opposed to places like further out in like Provence and some of the outer lands, as opposed to Paris and Parisian French, as opposed to and that goes for just about anywhere. To be honest, I'm going to drop out of the accent. I'm going to anywhere, like say Southern America has a different accent as opposed to the Pacific Northwest, which we think we don't have an accent, but we go somewhere else and they say we do.
Right.
And in England, even in Scotland, you have Highland Scotland, then you have Glaswegian, which is from people from Glasgow as opposed to people from Edinburgh. And those accents vary. So I'm pretty sure French does too, as opposed to like even French Canadian, Quebecois.
Right.
And even going down to Louisiana, to where you have French-speaking Cajun Louisiana, where they have their own accent, and they would notice this, like, your French is really interesting, is it? Cajun.
So what area does your accent come from?
I tried. It's like England has what they call received pronunciation, which is their basic. I like to think that mine is the basic. I emulated it off of several different French actors. I love Vincent Cassel and his works and
Vincent Cassel.
Vincent Cassel.
What are some of his more popular ones?
Some of his more popular ones. Well, he was in Eastern Promises. Most famously, recently, he was Shaitan. There was one. He's done a lot of American work, but he's played like other characters. Range. One of my favorite movies that was done by Christophe Gans was called Brotherhood of the Wolf, and it's set in 1700s France during the time of the Beast of Gévaudan, and that is a fun history jump right there. The Beast, and Vincent Cassel is one of the main baddies in that one.
And they used the French accent during.
Oh, it was in French.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll do it.
So, and I've watched it so many times I don't need to read the subtitles anymore.
That makes
sense. Or you
sense.
watch certain movies that they have a very exaggerated accent. It's easy to pick up.
Like Jacques Cousteau from the Pink Panther.
Yes, the Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah.
And his accent is very exaggerated. It is almost very, hamburger. He can't even pronounce it properly.
So you would not recommend basing your accent off of Jacques Cousteau?
Yeah, well, you could, but it's all on how you want to perceive yourself. If you want to be more comedic, you do more of a comedic accent. If you want to be more aristocratic, you bring it, you pull it up. Oh, Vincent Cassel also was famously played Anjou in Elizabeth, the first Kate Blanchett movie.
Mm.
So that is Vincent Cassel, and he's like, oh, and she catches him in the room dressed up like a woman, and he's like, what? Yeah, because Anjou was different.
So do you do anything to get yourself into the accent? Like, do you say something in your mind, or do you practice something?
Well, I basically, first thing I think of is where my voice is to be. So I kind of like start restricting my tongue and where I want to put the sound into the back of my throat. And then again, the zit, zat, zut, which I always tell people, it's like zit, zat, zut. And it's like, wait, what does that mean? It's like going, because where you put your mouth and where your voice is a lot of your S's come out as Z's. That's why zit, zat, zut works for me. And it's just a lot of Z's.
So do a reset. Go American, your natural accent, and then go into the French accent. Give us a demonstration on how you would do that on the fly.
So I would do my American accent. Hello, I'm Denice. This is my American accent. And then I would pull it back. This is Marguerite de Valois. I am Queen, Princess of the Crown.
And it's just that easy.
That easy for me, yes.
So, the key points to take from this tutorial is where you're putting your voice. You want the French accent to be coming from the back of the throat.
The back of the throat.
Okay, which you can tell I'm not a French
No, he kind of goes into the more German, but but it is close. Because the German is very close to that. It's like, because like I said, it's a more guttural. It's like French is a little bit different.
So you put it to the back of the throat, zit, zat, zut.
Yeah.
And then to practice, you can listen to actors like
Vincent Cassel, Monica Bellucci. Although Monica Bellucci is Italian, she does an amazing French accent. She was in Brotherhood of the Wolf. If you love scary movies, if you love monster movies, if you love sumptuously beautiful costume movies, Brotherhood of the Wolf is the movie to watch. And it
has the French accent.
And it has the French accent, and the one fun thing about it is it does have a very good English dub, if you can't listen to it in French. And they do pronounce everybody at the proper French pronunciations of the names.
Oh, well, there you go.
Even in English.
So that is Denice's advice for getting your French accent. Do make sure to leave some questions if you are finding some nuances of it that are just escaping you. We can always get Denice back here to do a part 2 if we need to. And comment on what accent you would like to hear next. Which one you would like to have showcased, or if you have just any tips and tricks, even for us, because there's always room to improve. Even the greatest of thespians has room to improve. So it's always open. We are always excited to hear from you, and we hope that your French accent evolves nicely.
Yes, it gets better. Yes.
With your character. So we hope your history is as fun as ours. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Huzzah!